Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am MrDomRocks, or better known as Dominic, from Player.net. After a slight sabbatical, I'm back and I'm creating video content for Player. Now, you guys might remember that a while ago I did a video overview of antivirus software or complete internet security software from AVG. Now, the guys over at Kasperksy have contacted us and asked us to do the same thing. So that's pretty much what this video is all about, as you can see from the title and the description, etc. So I'm going to go take a look at the software. This is purely an overview. I've only been using it a few days, so I'm going to do a probably more in-depth review on how it affected my system, etc., etc. Shortly. So let's take a look, shall we? As you can see here, this is Kasperksy Internet Security, designed to protect your system from any and all threats whilst you're on the internet, whether you're gaming, you're surfing the internet, Googling, Wikipedia, Tumblr, whatever you may be doing. This is designed to protect you. So, what does it do? Well, looking at some of the clear options here, we have the ability to scan our system for viruses. This includes a full scan of all folders, files and areas on your computer across all of your hard drives. There is a quick scan option for only key critical areas and common locations that viruses and Trojans like to hide. You can custom scan specific folders and objects, as well as scan removable drives. Now, if you're like me and you go from one system to another or one friend's house to another with USB drives, etc., you may or may not pick up infection from those systems, dependent on how well maintained those computers are and whether those people regularly run antivirus software or download from certain websites that may have programs and applications that have viruses built into them or that slip through the antivirus software. So this allows you to specifically scan just a pen drive and keep you protected before you open in any applications or images, video, etc. that you may have acquired from your friends. So that's a great little feature there, and it saves you having to drag that entire folder onto your system and leaving you vulnerable to viruses, Trojans, spyware, adware, etc. that you may have come into contact with. You have the option to obviously update the software here directly. I'm running on the latest version. This was updated today. Typically updates as soon as your system is turned on. So within a few seconds, it runs a scan. It goes, okay, I'm activating all my things, and running a quick update or quick check for an update just pings Kaspersky's database and goes, okay, I'm up to date, don't need to do anything more. You have the option to manually do that as well if you want to, but with the automatic run you don't really need to do anything unless Kaspersky Internet Security Software itself states you should run a manual update. There is a money safe option, so you can add bank and payment systems, whether it's PayPal or directly your bank account details or specific bank information. So when you're browsing on the internet and you want to log into your bank account, make a payment to someone, or just log into your bank account in general and check on your current balance, overdrafts, etc., etc. This is designed to protect you in that way, as well as if you're transferring money via PayPal, whether you're making purchases on eBay, Amazon, or any number of other websites that are now accepting PayPal as a way of transferring money or making payment for a product online. So I think that's a great little feature, and the fact that it's pre-built in, it's not an addition, that it's already there, and it's designed just to simply protect you as long as you add the details in. Now, I haven't done it for this. Pretty much the sites I go to and the places I go to, I pretty much know my money is safe, and I use PayPal for almost all my transactions. So PayPal with chargeback, etc. If there is an issue, you can keep yourself protected pretty quickly. you can also see reports. And apparently this found a threat from an application I had installed or have installed, which I found odd. And after some Googling, I found that actually some adware and possibly a Trojan has been bundled in with this software. So I have actually removed that software from my system. This wasn't anything untoward. This is a download manager that I've used for a long time, and I trusted, and now I no longer trust, so I no longer use. And if we expand the options, we get even more information here. So we've already covered these 4 main areas. We also have the parental control here, and because this software allows you to install it with the key that Kasperksy have provided onto 5 systems, so that your system plus 4 additional systems, 5 in total, you can then also add a password protection for parental control. Now this is great if you have children in your house and they have access to laptops or devices that you may want to restrict their usage, or if you just want to restrict it on your main system anyway, and family computer or home computer, and your children use it for schoolwork or Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and you want to limit their access to specific websites because of their age or your general bias against pornography, and you don't want your children actually come in contact with it full stop, whether they're an adult or not, well, whether they're a teenager or a young adult that may be interested, but you don't want them to see it. So you can restrict them in that way, and parental control is a great feature that's built in and is fantastic. And the fact that it's within this Internet Security Suite itself, and you can just go to this menu here is great. You don't have to go into specifics in trying to block certain websites and restrict access. I know a lot of ISPs are doing it. I recently moved to BT Infinity, and it deems a bunch of different sites that I go to, whatever they may be, as I need to enable them within parental control. I found that odd because it flagged something that wasn't inappropriate for anyone's age, and it blocked it. I just kind of scratched my head at that, but hey. But additional parental control is available within Kasperksy Internet Security. Moving on, we have a network monitor here, and we can see which ports are open. You can see your network traffic, your upload and your download here. You can see I've uploaded apparently 17.63 gigabytes of data. This comes from using Skype, Origin services when playing video games like Battlefield 4, TeamSpeak, etc. So any communication or any software where you're uploading data to the internet, it sees that I've uploaded 17.63 gigs, and you can see the applications that where you've sent and received information. So it gives you a detail output, so you can see that I've sent some information to Google. Microsoft Windows operating system has sent a small amount of data. Push, which is an image upload service. Open broadcast software for streaming. Origin service here, the data I've sent. Even when you're sending data across to a printer here, Skype, etc., you can kind of get an idea of what data you have sent and received on your network. And that is pretty much it for this piece of software here. This here, you can see which ports are open and what you are sending and receiving across which ports, etc. And also then block those ports if you have been informed that those ports are possibly putting your system at risk from people accessing your system through those ports. The ability to quarantine here, and this is what I mentioned here earlier, the zlib.dll file that was found in Orbit Downloader, which is the download software, has been seen as a Trojan DDoS.Win32. Now, whilst I haven't had any problems with this piece of software, this could attribute to causing problems when using, well, for anyone else, I guess. Depends on how it is implemented. I don't know the full details. I just know that it's here and that Kasperksy Internet Security flagged it and has then made has then quarantined it and protected myself and my system from this Trojan. We have some additional tools here where you can check your system's vulnerability. You can create a Kaspersky rescue disk, which allow you to basically create a CD or a USB flash drive that contains a set of tools for efficiently detecting and eliminating computer infections. So if you're going to go around a friend's house, or you're like me, you help and advise people on computer hardware, you look at people's damaged laptops, or you look at hardware and you help friends and family, and you found that their system's running slow, or their errors is an issue with pop-ups or something that is affecting their system, you can create a rescue disk from this software, plug it into their laptop, boot the laptop up or computer, and then clean the system without having to install Kaspersky or a alternative security software, which may come into errors and take time as well, depending on what is happening with the system. The ability to use Microsoft's Windows troubleshooting here directly from the software to check your system for problems, malware activity, or system failures. There's a privacy cleaner if you want to clear any recent commands, access files, cookies, caches, logs, etc., etc. As well as a browser configuration which is specific to Microsoft Internet Explorer rather than others. As you can see, I've got Chrome installed, and that is a software that I use on a regular basis. I actually use Chrome over Internet Explorer or Firefox. But if you use Internet Explorer, you can analyze and configure and make sure that it is secure and not going to leave you open to attack or viruses. There's an application control here, and you can see the usage on your system. And this is basically, it's saying that trusted programs, there's 207. It's restricted 6 of them for some reason. I don't know why. And there's no untrusted on my system. You can see your CPU usage, your memory usage. You can see I've got 8 gigs of DDR3 on this system, and I'm using 2.12 gigabytes of my memory. My disk usage here, this I believe is specific probably to my main C drive, which is a SSD, and obviously see my current network traffic. So there's a spike earlier, and now it's going up and down, and it will go up and down. And you can show all activity and get a more expanded view of that information. Looking at the manage application settings here, we can, when it loads, you're going to load, here we go, we can see all the ones that it allows running. There's none that have been disabled by Kaspersky or by myself, so everything here is available to run. And then scrolling down to the very bottom, is it the very bottom, or am I going to have to click on, let's just okay, it is within the allowed to run list, but it's going to be at the very bottom, I think. Is it at the bottom? I don't know where it is actually. There is a list of the restricted applications. I think if I click on restrictions, it might help. Here we go. So you can see all the things that are trusted here. Most things are Microsoft, NVIDIA. Anything that has been signed by Microsoft in its installation will be trusted by most programs and antivirus software and security. Even things that are signed or have no previous issue. Apparently here, the BES service.exe has a low restricted OBS, which is what I'm using to record my desktop, and I use it when I'm streaming. Here it's saying there's a low restricted access for some reason. DayZ, which is a brand new game, it's the standalone DayZ game by Bohemia and Dean Hall. Adobe Photoshop CS6 is on the low restricted. I'm not fully aware of why these are listed here, but they are. A bit more research into this probably be due, and I'll put that into the more in-depth review of this software at a later date. That is pretty much it from the application management portion. So let's go back, and then we can see obviously there's an option for a virtual keyboard here. So if you want to click on screen instead of using a keyboard, or your keyboard malfunctions, you have the option to use a virtual keyboard here instead of using your actual keyboard if there is a problem, which is great if you quickly you need to search for something, you need to get access to your system to find something out. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much it when it comes to Kaspersky Internet Security. Looking at some additional settings here, we can see that the protection level and the protection setup and how it interacts with your system, the protection center, file antivirus here, application control, network attack blocker, So this is if you are being DDoSed, you are having someone attack your IP. You can use internet security here to block those attacks if possible, and that's going to be specific to some ports on your system that may be open. IM antivirus here is enabled if you're using Skype or MSN Messenger or any other messaging service on your system. Your email antivirus here for incoming and outgoing messages. Oh, excuse me. If you're like me who uses a desktop email service, you got a web antivirus application here, obviously, and a firewall option as well. You can see system performance here. You can disable certain. This is the battery saving option is specific to when you are running this software on a laptop, so you can disable scheduled scan tasks whilst running on battery, purely to save some battery power. You have the gaming profile here, so it will go into a kind of hibernation mode. So certain notifications and things that may cause your game to excuse me, cause your game to minimize or to go into windowed mode, affecting your game, possibly crashing it, is enabled here. There's a computer resources, concede resources to operating system when this computer starts. This enables for a faster system startup. You can concede resources to other applications, so this will reduce the system load that Kaspersky puts on your system when other programs and other tasks are taking over. When you're idle, the system can perform an idle scan and perform a rootkit scan as well. There is a system scan here, which is an automatic process which will just run in the background, and it's generally designed to catch programs and applications. So you want, again, that may be infected, and this is generally just to protect you whilst you're on the internet. And if you download something and it has a virus or a Trojan or something that is that could affect your system, then it can catch it before it does any damage to you whatsoever, or before you even run it. It may not catch it then, but when you try and run something, if it's pre-existing, it'll catch it. And obviously you can set what actions it will do to those threats. And there is some additional information here, which is like update settings, secure data input, threats and exclusions. So you can exclude an application that Kaspersky Internet Security deems is a threat to your system. There's a self-defense option here to stop anything attacking Kaspersky Internet Security and disabling it. Compatibility settings, network settings, and the notification settings as well. And that is pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen, in regards to Kaspersky Internet Security. I am MrDomRocks, or Dominic, and thanks for watching.